I snapped back at my friend's older sister and refused to apologize to her high school peak ego. Now they're saying I ruined a reunion. For some context, I, 33F, have a friend, Beth, 34F, who has an older sister, Jill, 38F, who has hated me since we first met. She'd always called me a weirdo freak and said I deserved the bullying I got at school because I was such a dork. Beth was one of the few friends I had in my year group who didn't bully me, and we have been friends since I was 12. I stopped visiting Beth's house because of Jill and didn't see her again until Beth's 18th birthday, where she told people that I was harassing her boyfriend because I was too ugly and weird to attract my own guy. I had literally just said hello to him, and that was it. Thankfully, she moved away not long after, and I was just glad to be rid of her. Now to the present, Beth and I arranged a dinner reservation with the other three in our group, Liz, 33F, Kelly, 34F, and Megan, 34F. This was our first real chance to see each other in over 2 years, due to a number of reasons, and we were all looking forward to a chance to catch up. Beth offered to drive me and Kelly with her to the restaurant, since neither of us can drive, and I have CFS and several types of chronic pain, so traveling isn't easy for me. We caught a bus to Beth's flat together, but it was Jill who answered the door, which shocked us both. Beth hadn't told us Jill was visiting, and we would have appreciated a heads up since neither of us has a good history with Jill. Still, we were polite. Kelly said hello and complimented Jill's dress, and I said, "Hi Jill, nice to see you, how have you been?" Jill completely ignored Kelly and turned to me, saying, "Better than you, clearly, still a pale freak, aren't you?" I couldn't help it and snapped back at her, saying, "At least I'm not a bitter hag still clinging to grudges I started with a 12-year-old. Maybe it's time you grew up a bit." Jill immediately ran off, screaming for Beth and said she's not taking us anywhere until that C-word apologizes, which confused me and Kelly because why would she be taking us anywhere? That was when Beth came out and revealed her car was broken, so Jill was meant to be driving us, and I shouldn't have been cruel to her sister because that's just Jill's humor. Kelly called BS and said Jill is a bully, and she's only surprised that I hadn't snapped years ago, and told me I'd better not apologize. I said I had no intention to. Beth said, "Well, you can make your own way to the restaurant then," and kicked us out. Kelly and I called Liz and Megan to update them, and we said we'd be running late since we now had to pay for a cab, and they are split on the issue. Liz thought I should just apologize because Beth is siding with Jill, and it would cut the tension, but Megan thought this was long overdue and Jill had it coming, and Beth needs to accept her sister's actions have consequences. In the end, I refused to apologize, and we got a taxi, only to find out Beth was refusing to join us over what I said to Jill. This was a week ago, and Beth is now refusing to speak to any of us other than Liz, who told her she said I was at fault until I apologized to her sister. Was I supposed to not speak up for myself because that's just how Beth's older sister rolls? Update 1. Hi folks, many of you asked me to update after my last post to let you know what I decided to do. Thank you to all the commenters who let me know I was not going crazy. Liz and Beth's insistence that I apologize was making me second-guess myself, so I appreciate your help. Most of you also pointed out Beth's reaction was enabling Jill, and Liz's reaction was expecting me to roll over in the name of keeping the peace. I've come to realize that this has been a pattern for years in our group, playing peacekeeper to Beth and Liz for the good of the group, not only for me but for Megan and Kelly as well. So, as for the update, I still haven't heard from Beth, but Liz has been spamming me with texts and voicemails, saying I was out of order and owe all three of them apologies for how I acted and for continuing to drag things out. She even suggested, as a way to start making it up, I should take everyone, including Jill, to a restaurant and pay for everything. I have no desire to spend what would be a month's rent on their drinks bill alone, not to mention I don't feel I've done anything wrong. Honestly, the fact that she even suggested this only persuaded me more to cut her off. I met up with Megan and Kelly last night and told them that I'm not apologizing to Jill. Frankly, she's stuck in her high school mean girl era, and I'd be glad never to see her again. I also said I'm sick of swallowing my feelings to avoid tension because Liz and Beth never apologize, and I am cutting contact with Beth and Liz. I was expecting protests about breaking up the group, but surprisingly, I did not expect Megan to admit she's only stuck with Liz for so long because, like me with Beth, Liz was one of her only friends during her bullied years, and she didn't want to ruin our dynamic by acting out of turn. Or for Kelly to say that for years she's been sick of Liz and Beth treating the three of us like we're inferior, but she was worried that if she spoke up about it, she'd lose me and Megan as well. We all had a very overdue chat about how we all really feel about this group and agreed that Beth and Liz are not true friends to any of us. Kelly and Megan showed me their messages from Beth and Liz, basically painting me as some kind of demon hellbent on ruining their lives. I had to laugh at the one from Liz reminding them both of how I ruined her wedding by not attending due to my selfish emergency surgery. This was 5 years ago, and I'm only now hearing that I ruined things because some guests asked about my health at the reception and drew attention away from her big day. Clearly, I'm an awful person for this. Anyway, we are completely cutting contact. We've saved our messages just in case, because I don't see Jill, Beth, or Liz disappearing quietly from our lives once they realize we're not going to play ball, but in the meantime, we're planning a zoo trip next week, so we'll enjoy a day out free of drama.